What is up, everybody? The Red Dragon here. And have you noticed that there's a lot of things in the news? Some big, important stories. I mean, just a few weeks ago, Egypt had one of the largest protests ever on record in the history of the world. Of course, they're an ancient civilization and they're a big key player in the Middle East. You've got the NSA director getting up and lying in front of Congress, and nobody is saying a word, and yet we are going after somebody else for telling the truth, who we have revoked his citizenship, where he can't even go and seek asylum somewhere as directed under international law. We also have the IRS targeting political groups, and we have the whole Benghazi deal. We have the State Department investing over $150,000 buying Facebook likes, which amounts to pure propaganda buying. There's so many details going on in the news right now, but whenever I turn on the news, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all the big news broadcast stations, they're all covering Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman, the trial. Now, my question is this. I don't care what really happens. It plays out in the justice system, and they're going to get the same justice as anybody else would. The only players that are affected by this trial are Trayvon Martin's family and his parents, who are trying to seek justice, and George Zimmerman, who is trying to defend his life right now in front of the court system, in front of a jury, which is being presented evidence, and the only people who really matter right now is the jury. And so whenever you turn on the news, it really frustrates the hell out of me, because all these news are covering this trial almost religiously, and they're dedicating whole blocks to it and whole days to it. And I turned it on the 4th of July, actually it was the day before the 4th of July, I believe, whenever all that was going on in Egypt. And I was looking for information on what was going on, because that's really the only time I've been turning on my TV lately anyway, is to watch the news. And I couldn't even find what was happening in America, because they were focused on this trial which affects nobody but the families directly involved. Yet we have all these other national stories that affect all of us, and on a larger scale. And I don't mind covering big stories that happen, but there's already plenty of platforms for that. Just go watch Dateline or Cops or the First 48, Court TV. I mean, there's places for this, and I understand if a story makes it to the national stage and they want to talk about it for a little bit, they want to bring people on, discuss it, that's fine. But that's not the lead headline of what is happening in the world, and it's very frustrating. And so anyway, whenever I turned on my TV, 4th of July, I was looking for information. Every station I turned it on, it's the illusion of choice, because only 6 corporations really own 90% of the media in this country. So basically, you really don't have a choice whatsoever. So they all cover the same stories. They're all covering this trial. And so I called up my cable provider, and I said, I want my TV gone, because I wasn't using it enough to begin with. I was looking for a reason to cancel it, and this was the final straw for me. You're not getting your news from CNN, from Fox, from MSNBC. Turn off the tube, because they're making you dumber. I'm not against this case. I'm not saying that it's bad whatever happened, but if you really want to focus on violence and stuff, go take a look at Chicago, where they've banned guns, and yet more people have been killed than like in the Afghanistan war as it stands right now. I mean, like, it's insane. It's freaking insane. But the corporations, the media, making you really dumb right now if you watch TV. So I've decided to turn it off, and I get my news from online sources, and I recommend that you do the same. At least look elsewhere, because you're not getting the full picture. I guarantee you that. Post below, let me know what you think about this story. Why is this trial so important? What does it matter? How does it affect you whatsoever? And why are these other stories being completely ignored, like the IRS, like the Benghazi, like a journalist who by all accounts looks like he was completely assassinated? Michael Hastings, look it up. Nobody's covering it.